Hi everyone, welcome back to Whiteboard Circuit, and today I'm here with a video on what would you do? So if you haven't watched the other ones, they're also pretty interesting. They're linked up here. But these videos, essentially, I want you to go ahead and debate in the comments, talk about your opinions and others' opinions, and kind of discuss what to do, because really there's no correct answer. So today I'm going to talk about a dilemma that a lot of companies face on a daily, weekly basis. Maybe sometimes you might face, or we might face in a school setting or work setting. So let's talk about this. What would you do? So I'm going to talk about something called like a product dilemma. So before we continue on with the video, I wanted to give a really quick disclaimer. I am not giving financial advice. Before making any decisions, please make sure you consult a professional advisor and do your own due diligence and research. I am just a college student trying to share knowledge and personal experiences through all the fun, fictional characters. I'm not a professional, and I'm not giving any life or financial advice on this channel. So on with the video. Did I spell that right? Dilemma. So essentially what this is let's say a big company, so let's say company X, invests in a product. Let's say they invest $20 million. This is a lot of money, right? But the product seems to be failing. Maybe they tried a new innovation. Maybe they tried to kind of expand into a new market, a new country, new type of research and development. But whatever they invested, whatever they're trying to do, it's currently failing. So now they have two options. Either they can keep investing, keep hiring new people, new skill sets to try and get this product to potentially pass, right? Or they can pull the idea. Sorry, it's getting cramped here. Which obviously is a default fail, right? So let me just rewrite this here. So if they continue, they have a chance of passing potentially, or again, they could invest even more money. They can invest another 10 million, another 20 million, and it can still fail. And then they lose more money. Or they can choose to pull the idea, in which case they fail regardless. So for the sake of this analogy, let's say continuing means they have to invest another $20 million and then evaluate, okay? If they fail then they're losing $40 million total, right? Because they already invested 20 million. They chose to continue their research, hire new people, try and make the product survive, and invest another 20 million. And if it fails again, then they lose 40 million. And then again, they can choose whether to pull or continue again. Whereas if they pull, the product fails, but at least they save the 20 million they ended up putting here, right? But another part of this is if they, again, failing product, they choose to keep investing, and they put in another 20 million and the product actually passes. Like it starts doing good, it starts creating profits. And now the company's making, let's say 70 million yearly. Then that's a whole 30 million profit that they made from the product. So if you were a CEO or if you were a project operations manager and you had a decision that we have put in a lot of money and the product is failing, our idea isn't working, and we have two options. We can keep investing more and hope the product passes and makes us more money, or we pull the idea entirely and we just say that all this money got wasted and that's it. And the positive of this is that we don't end up wasting more money in case it ends up failing regardless. Does that kind of make sense what I'm trying to say? Like, there's no right answer in this scenario because we can't predict the future. We can't predict the market all the time. There's always constant fluctuations in people and competition. And there's so many aspects to understanding whether a product, whether an idea, whether an innovation is going to work. So what would you do? I've seen scenarios in the real world where companies will develop a product and they will keep investing until all of a sudden the product fails and all of their investments just went to waste. Whereas there are some companies where they'll put in an initial investment, they see the product failing, and immediately they'll cancel the product entirely. Both of those are really valid options. This can also happen in investing. Now, if you're not too sure about investing, I might create a video explaining the basics on investing in the stock market. But right now, let's say we have a stock that's at this point and we buy 10 shares. The stock drops to here. Now we can choose to sell and come out at the loss, or we can choose to buy again in case. So the stock could go up, right? Or it could go down. We don't know. We have 10 shares right now. If we hold all 10 shares, then whatever happens, happens. But if we sell 10, we come out with this loss, assuming that we don't make more loss. But if we buy more, let's say we buy another 10 shares here. It falls more. We buy another 10 shares here. And now all of a sudden, the stock goes up here. We have 30 shares that made so much profit. But the same can happen. We can keep buying until the company goes bankrupt. This is also a very common scenario, especially during recession periods. So what's the right decision? This would be more of a day-to-day kind of stock market investing. And of course, most people are working with way more than 10 shares. They're working with hundreds, thousands of dollars worth of shares. So what decision do we make? Maybe we hit 10 shares here and then we're like, oh, we should buy more. So we buy 10 shares, it goes up here. We're like, oh, the stock is increasing. So we buy like 50 shares here, hoping the stock increases, and then it falls. This is why investing is such a risky thing to do. It's playing with their money. It's a form of gambling. So what should a company do in this scenario? What would you do as a project manager, as a CEO, as someone that's trying to launch a product, launch an idea? What would you do if this was the situation? If you are here, exactly in this position, what would you do? Would you keep investing and hope that the product passes? But remember, if it fails, you lost more than what you initially invested. Or do you pull the idea entirely and then just live with this loss? But then in this case, you will never know whether the product actually might have worked. Maybe the product is a very, very good idea and this investment just wasn't efficient enough. It wasn't doing it the right way. So what would you do in a situation like this? Comment down below. And if you like videos like this, comment down for any new ideas and press that thumbs up button and that subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.